Sweet, so once again, my name is Stephen Willinger. I'm one of the organizers of this event, and I'm stoked to be your panelist and talk about AI agents with some of the guys creating agents and the tech that support them. So let's get going. So yeah, Stephen, let's just go down the line. I'd really like to get each your background, give us a little bit of the genesis story, how you got in the whole space, and then also talk a bit about what you're working on at a high level. And we'll dive into some details right after that. We'll start with you guys.
Hey everyone, my name's Ash. Just graduated from school and doing been in crypto since. I guess they don't like that. Been in crypto since end of 2020, right after DeFi summer. Did a little bit of trading, but mostly just like research for investors. Did a lot of hackathons over the years, and then got really excited about automation, which kind of brought us towards where we are right now. Talk about Axal?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so Axal is building a network for verifiable agents. The way I describe this to people outside of crypto is like, imagine if you had a competitive free market for any verifiable task. So this is like, with ChatGPT, you can gain instant access to information, but you can kind of just like spit a request out into the void, like buy me a coffee, or like, I guess for a crypto use case, like make a swap or do some routing operation, and we'll run auctions of agents to kind of go and fulfill this, and we'll ensure that they've done it right.
Sweet. Maybe before we go on to Felix here, just that's the big vision, right? You've got some stuff that's actually live in market being used. Maybe give us a little tidbit about that too.
Yeah, so we're building a super user-facing product right now called Autopilot. The idea is like an agent-powered trading application that automatically rebalances, is catered to your yield, to your risk profile, and earns yield on stables or other passive assets. So truly Autopilot, just 1 minute survey onboarding, and then like let this thing trade on your behalf. Have guarantees on what it does. So, and Axal is for all of this.
Sweet. And right on to you, Felix. A little bit of the genesis story and what you're working on.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Felix. I'm graduate from Stanford as a computation and mechanical engineer. And then after graduation, we started working with like Stanford Blockchain Accelerator to come up with this technology. Essentially, like Xtrace is building like a secure knowledge and memory sharing network using AI agents. So what I mean by that is I view training like graduating from school, right? But when you are actually entering the workforce, you need company's data and then like real-time information and memory in order to function. So that's why we're building like on top of all the decentralized training and all that, we're building like an experience memory layer and also the knowledge access. And we're making sure that without knowing the query and without knowing like the actual data, we can do like retrieval for AI agents. So they have full control of their memory and ownership of their knowledge.
Sweet. And then it's the same question I asked Ash, right? You've got a couple people already using some of your products or at least signed up to use them. So can you talk about some of the early use cases?
Yeah, so already we have interest from both Web 2 and Web 3 scenarios. So Web 3 we can talk to like Ilya from here. Already they're building like PE with like LM Insight. And essentially for them to have like a real privacy preserving AI agent, they need to have access to external data. So it can be like a private computing layer to allow them to access proprietary data outside that is all encrypted and then make sure that everything happens in the PE and everyone has control over their data. And in addition, on the Web 3 part, we also work with some NASDAQ companies to allow them to do secure agent sharing. So instead of like the paradigm of data sharing right now, if you do across the globe, you have to do a translation and processing of the data. Now instead of doing that, we create like a secure agent sharing network that allows the authorized party to know what the agent is talking about, and the agent will know what they have to know, what they have to share, what they have to share. So the agent have knowledge of the data instead of just sharing data directly.
Sweet. And Z, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Z, co-founder at Nectar.ai. So about a couple of years ago, I was playing around with like open source models for image generation and kind of launched a product there and noticed that people were generating lots of images of like the same kind of character or the same type of setting. And that's kind of when we started looking into like AI generated characters and sort of the storylines around those characters. And that sort of evolved into what today is Nectar.ai, which is a platform that powers uncensored and immersive experiences with AI companions. So users can come to our site and they can interact with or create their own AI companion. And currently today we have close to like 1 million users, over a couple 100,000 characters, unique characters created on our platform.
Amazing. Yeah, a lot of people are using the platform. Can you maybe talk a little bit about like the principles around like censorship versus lack thereof when it comes to generating AI agents and like interactions with AI beings?
Yeah, so particularly in our space, I think censorship is a big deal. There are lots of Web2 entities like Feng that are kind of already on the hunt to censor these types of experiences. I think in order to have that guarantee to provide these experiences that are truly uncensored, we need to decentralize our infrastructure. And that's sort of why we're working with places like Ritual and other kind of infrastructure providers to have like a truly decentralized stack when it comes to inference, both in the image space and in the text space. But yeah, I think that's one of the core use cases of decentralized inference in AI.
Awesome. So just to recap up here, we've got like AI companionship, we've got infrastructure for AI memories, and we've got also this big vision like verifiable arbitrary AI tasks, very much a really financial use case, right? So maybe let's dive into that, right? Like I think one of the interesting things about being a startup at the precipice of both blockchain and AI is kind of finding the right use case for now and having that big vision for the future. So maybe starting with you again, Ash, would you maybe dive in and really like give us a sense for like what problem you're trying to solve with Axal that's like kind of on the 1 year side, right? Like what's giving you the conviction that that needs to be solved today?
Yeah, I'll give like the more common problem that 99% of crypto companies, I feel like especially this week, talk about, and then I'll give like the longer analytics problem. Shit is extremely fragmented and modular, like different chains, different applications, like everyone in this room or like people that are doing crypto waste a lot of time like figuring out where to bridge or like what DEX to use, and especially when you think about multi-step flows, like you're never just swapping for bridging, you're swapping because you want to go buy some new coin or you want to listen for some event and then go and do something else. It's very hard to automate these flows. So like that was kind of the original motivation for Axal. Like let's just help automate stuff. Like you guys know Zapier and Web2. We kind of started off with a product that was kind of like VP SaaS for that. Realized very quickly that leveraging agents in competitive auctions as opposed to like terrible Python that I can write for like task execution is far more scalable. You can like harness the power of competitive markets to get like best execution speeds, like lower costs, whatever you want. And you kind of see this today with the intent space a lot, like with the cross and Uniswap X, you're seeing like bridging in 3 seconds or like swapping and like best fees that beat AMMs. We want to do that for different tasks on chain, so arbitrary state detection or other things. So I'm kind of like the immediate what we're doing, the training focused product obviously leverages a lot of data over those. The longer term vision, I guess in the context of AI, is like a future that is ran by black box models that are getting more and more powerful, requires guardrails, especially when these models are taking actions on our behalf. Like, I don't really care that much if ChatGPT says like hello world versus hi world, but I do care about like getting a flight book with these exact parameters, or in the crypto sense, like yield farming under these exact specs that I care about. Even for things that are more declarative, you still have some general guardrails that you want. So I think our longer term vision is like Axal is this platform that verifies these output constraints that you have for any request you want to submit. And that today is mostly crypto. Down the line with stuff like CKTLS or optimistic verification, it can literally be like sports betting or like buying goods and services. So that's like the much more crypto.
Sweet. And maybe just that's super interesting. Could you give us a quick sense of like how those guardrails are enforced, right? Or at least how you see them being enforced? Because it's yeah, I mean that's like the core in a lot of ways of what you're building. So I'm keen to know a bit more and share with the audience like how you use networking.
Yeah, 100%. Like the easy, like stuff on chain today is pretty easy to verify. Like I can, I guess, go to Etherscan and I can prove that like Ash has like 100 USDC on the specific address instead. For stuff that's off chain, you can look what Polymarket does. So under the hood they use UMA, optimistic workflows, where it could be like random off chain data, like did Trump say wall 10 times in this week, so it could be something else. And you just have a quorum amongst a lot of like body and token holders for that outcome. So like that's how you can get to off-chain stuff. Like I guess I touched on a couple other things. We're really excited about like ZK-TLS for like literally proving off-chain info. Like if the task is like tell me if ESPN has this specific formula, then we're talking to folks like Opacity and Claim to like leverage those proofs that are surprisingly pretty fast. But then also ZK co-processors for stuff that's on-chain pretty faster. So short answer, like a lot of different solutions. Like everyone has different levels of like I guess strong guarantees and guarantees that they care about verification. For a lot of things, it's probably overkill. Like for Polymarket optimistics works great. They haven't really done that for a long time, but down the line, especially for stronger, like higher value use cases, you probably want actually some paper solutions.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. Okay, Felix. So my set of questions here is going to kind of fork into 2 categories, right? I think You're building some very interesting, like sort of a memory and knowledge technology with a lot of levers to control monetization and privacy for AI agents. And I guess one of the more interesting things is kind of both the differences of the needs in the Web3 ecosystem and the needs in the enterprise world, right? And so I guess first off, in the Web3 ecosystem, I'd love for you to articulate a bit more like how do you foresee basically memory and knowledge technology supporting Web3 development of AI agents, and like what the needs are there and how you're building them, and then we'll dovetail that into a discussion about enterprise.
Yeah, like I'm a firm believer that like we should use Web3 technology to help like the performance and the cost of Web2 is not more like what philosophy or decentralization. I think what value do we bring to it? And essentially I think that there's a lot of already talks and like discussion about like using multi-agent collaboration in a decentralized fashion, because currently in the Web2 world, if you run multi-agent collaboration, like 30 agents can cost you like $5,000 per hour. So what we believe is that if we have this knowledge base and memory set up for the AI agent in the Web3 world, so each agent will have experience when using them. So there's like 100 million queries per day, and how do we leverage that? Is that the more you use AI agent, you should have like a way to learn and then be improved, and then also like maintain their own memory base. And now instead of just like when a new agent joins the network, instead of just querying like spawning a 30 agent, they can have access to thousands and 10,000 of agents' memory and past experience. So immediately they'll have like this like gain of more agents is what you need. So you can get like 10,000 previous AI agents' experience and use that to leverage it. In addition, there's a lot of talking and drop pick on prompt caching. Essentially, the redundancy of prompt, like a lot of people are asking the same question. Why don't we have this Web3 global universal knowledge network that supports people to say, oh, we know this answer already. Why don't we just fetch it and then improve on it so we can save our compute instead of wasting it to like redo the computation. So I think in terms of cost and performance is what I'm doing. Like Web3 can help Web2 in terms of agent development.
Awesome. Yeah, I can see how that would be super powerful, especially in an open world. I guess the flip side of that is, as enterprises look to adopt AI, and they need, fine-grained access, user access control, sort of like permission control, but also want to get the scale of shared memory, shared knowledge all through RAG. Like, how are some of your early customers thinking about those controls, and how does the same technology that would support huge breadth of use in Web3 also support enterprise use cases?
Yeah, I think for any company to seriously adopt AI agent, instead of just saying, oh, it's a ChatGPT wrapper with a prompt, you have to give it access to all your company's proprietary data. So how do you keep it secure will be a key question. So what Xtrace is building is that we build like an encrypted vector database for AI agent that allows user to query also in an encrypted fashion, and it will return the most relevant information for the AI agent. And we're not sacrificing a lot of performance. Like we're using just FHE solutions and can take it 30 seconds per data check. But using our technology, we can drop the cost down to 0.092 milliseconds, so almost like real-time retrieval. So that's kind of like the free bonus that we gave them. We give them security and privacy in the user system. And now we can allow so previously if you want to share like an AI agent, you have to open your database to AI agent to other companies. So everything might work well in your own walled garden, if like everything works in your own department, so you can make sure the data will not be leaked. But you're trying to make it a real workforce. You have to send agent to other companies. Then how do you guarantee that the agent knows what to say, what not to say? So essentially what we do is that we allow to build a protocol level of like encrypted database, and all the other companies can search through that encrypted database of like company A, and all the company B to Z can search through it. And all in an encrypted fashion. And then afterward, the company will know what the data that the other companies requested, kind of like a Google Drive or Dropbox for AI agents. And then they have fine-grained access control and know like what data is being used and what data is being stored. So essentially, we give AI agents the ability to sign NDAs around like collaboration.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, Z, moving on to you, right? In the time we've been working together, we've seen the Nectar platform just like explode in capabilities, right? You've got some cool stuff right on the horizon in terms of like video, right? So I guess one thing I'd really love for you to roll back the clock and explain how you got here, technically, is you've got a multimodal platform and experience, right? And I'm just curious, like, what were some of the emphasis for choosing modalities, and then also some of the challenges in integrating them into experience really makes it feel like they're one single experience.
Yeah, I think that's a core part of Nectar is enabling these immersive experiences, and to do that, you have to factor in all modalities. So that's been at the forefront of our mind since the day we launched Nectar, and
Which was the first modality you launched?
So the very first, actually we started as an image creator, as I said before, but we kind of transitioned into like consistent images for a character, and then that was like the very first thing, and then from there we added chat. So just a simple chat interface that allows you to not only send text messages back and forth, but also images. And then from there, we expanded into video. And I think one of the challenges that we face is how do we get the images to sort of be relevant to the conversation at hand. So the image generator needs to have like the context of what's going on in the conversation. And then also one thing that's right around the corner is voice. Part of, we don't believe that text is going to be like chat, like basically text messages is not going to be the final modality in which you interact with your campaign. I think voice is ultimately, truly it's video face-to-face communication, but voice is one step closer to getting there. So just being able to have the right intonations in your voice, have the voice stay consistent to what the character is supposed to sound like. These are all problems that we're really keen on solving right now, and I think we've made significant progress in. I think one thing that I haven't mentioned so far is memory. I think one big part of what makes our characters unique is that they kind of learn about the user over time. I think that's important, not only for the user experience, but because it kind of segues into like agents, because agents are supposed to take action based on like the user's preferences, and because we've already been sort of focused on learning what the user's preferences are from the conversation at hand, I think we're well equipped to sort of enable this agentic behavior that's in line with what users want. For example, like we might learn over time that this user likes, I don't know, Italian food or something. Whenever the user might interact with this agent, it might choose to order Italian food for the user or something like that. So like these are the sort of experiences that we're looking to have on the Nectar platform. On the Nectar platform, I think we've done a pretty decent job of it.
Sweet. And the sort of like the characters or the companions created on Nectar are like very, very personal, right? And I think we've heard a lot from other speakers and other panels about some of the potential around decentralizing AI, but a lot of that is like sort of like very academic and close to the model, right? And it's like pretty far away from the app at this point. How you're building an app with a lot of users, right? And so I'm curious how you think about like what components are worth decentralizing or adding privacy to today, based on feasibility, and then like what are the areas where you're really eager and looking for that innovation, but like not quite able to use it. I'm curious, like where the rise is.
Yeah, I think ownership of the character as a creator is one thing that you can obviously do today via things like NFTs or just attribution to like, if we have revenue sharing or something, like the creator who created that character gets a certain percentage.
Like after Dropbox, like your data can be going through everywhere, and then essentially we're allowing that to happen for different large language models and AI agents.
Yeah, sweet. I think once all those pieces are in place, the amount of collaboration and work that will be able to be offered to agents will be astounding. So Z, last question for the group. Right, I think right now you built a first-party experience in a lot of ways, right? But I know that you plan to platformize in a much more of a way. And so I guess I'm curious, like how do you think about taking what you built as a first-party experience and exposing it to the platform? And like what do you think some of like the different twists on what you're building that are likely to be taken as you expose Nectar as a platform?
Yeah, I think that right now, one of the big things is creating open world. That's something that users have been suggesting to us for a while now. So basically on Nectar right now, there are sort of two distinct types of users. One is the like kind of I want a personal companion for me to chat with every day, and then on the other hand, you have like creatives, artists, storytellers that are looking to kind of create fantasies or stories that they can like immerse themselves in and interact with like different characters, different situations. And so that second group has sort of been pushing towards the creation of sort of like universes or worlds where multiple characters can live in and sort of interact with each other. And you as a user can also interact with the characters at the same time or live in that world. I think that is more of like an AI parasocial relationship where you have like a lot of different users that all subscribe to the same like cinematic universe experience, and then the other cohort of users are kind of more looking on a one-to-one relationship. I think the importance of the parasocial aspect is that once like users are comfortable with sort of like this parasocial relationship, these characters within that world can become kind of like influencers in a way, where I think they might be able to, as agents, you know, promote their own products, promote their own apps. And I think that's like an actually potential stream for Nectar to earn revenue. So yeah, I think that, and then as these agents are interacting with each other, they sort of interact with a mind of their own that we've already kind of been developing as part of that one-on-one experience that we already support on our platform. So yeah, that's sort of where we see Nectar becoming more of a platform rather than just a single, you know, one-on-one experience on the site.
Yeah, sweet. I know that I, for one, am very excited for some of those. I don't actually know what the word parasocial means, but I'm inferring from what you said. Sort of like, anyway, I'm excited for that, right? It sounds like there's some cool stuff on the horizon, and sort of like, creators giving access to the content, so that will be cool. All right, everyone, let's give a big hand for our AI agent panel.